Our scripture reading this morning comes from the letter titled Hebrews. New Testament scholars are nearly unanimous in acknowledging that the author is unknown and that it was written about 90 years after Jesus' death. It is important to know this because it provides the context for the contents of the letter. By this time, persecution of the followers of Jesus was escalating, and the leaders in the church communities needed to be constantly assuring the followers of the importance of running the race and staying the course, the way of Jesus. In this passage, the writer recounts thousands of faithful people throughout their history who had lived their lives knowing there was a spirit bigger than any of them who were guiding the journey. This is one of the many places in the biblical story where trust rather than belief is a better synonym for faith. The writer is calling the followers then, and calling us today, to trust deeply the greater spirit at work in our lives and in the world. I'm reading selections of verse from Hebrews, chapter 11, verse 1, to chapter 12, verse 2. Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. By faith, by trust, Abraham obeyed when he was called to set out for a place unknown. And his descendants, as many of the stars of heaven, died in faith, in trust, without having received the promises. But from a distance they saw and greeted them. By trust, Isaac invoked blessings for the future on Jacob and Esau. By trust, Jacob, when dying, blessed each of the sons of Joseph. By trust, Moses refused to be called a son of Pharaoh's daughter, choosing rather to share the ill treatment with the Hebrew people. By trust, the people passed through the Red Sea as if it were dry land. By trust, the walls of Jericho fell after they had been encircled for 7 days. And what more should I say? For time would fail me to tell of Gideon, Barak, Samson, Jephthah, of David and Samuel and the prophets, who through faith, through trust, administered justice, obtained promises, won strength out of weakness. Men and women were tortured. Others suffered mocking, flogging, chains, and imprisonment. They were stoned to death. They were killed by the sword. They went about in skins of sheep, destitute, persecuted, tormented. They wandered in deserts and mountains, in caves and holes in the ground. Yet all these, though they were commended for their faith, their trust did not receive what was promised. Therefore, since we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses, let us also lay aside every weight and the fear that clings so closely, and let us run with perseverance the race that is set before us, looking to Jesus, the pioneer of our faith and perfecter of our trust, who for the sake of the pure joy of life that was set before him, endured the cross, disregarding its shame, and showing us the way of God. Hear what the Spirit is saying to the church.
Thanks be to God. Thank you.